Aquarius, this is your forecast for the month of April 2016. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Before we get started on your horoscope for April, I just wanted to quickly mention that I am available for readings. You can contact me on the link below, which is to livevisions.com if you would like to order a live reading. And actually, in the month of April, we're having a special to where if you order a live reading, only the live ones, okay, the first 10 minutes of your reading are free. So for example, if you order a 15-minute live reading, you get a 25-minute reading for the price of 15. So it's pretty awesome. Take advantage of that. If you would like to speak with me live about career, relationships, or just anything in general, that I can look into your unique chart, that's only for you, your natal chart that you were born with, to see what's going on and maybe give some clarity on some things. I do also offer recorded readings still, so you can order those on livevisions.com, or you can shoot me an email to my personal email, which is in the description box as well, and we can set something up. So I would love to hear from you, and I would love to help you out. Now, let's get started on your monthly horoscope. My dear Aquarian friends, my apologies for the back and forth with one scene to the other with your April 2016 horoscope. Something went wrong with me filming the first part of it. I don't know if it's your ruling planet Uranus in the mix right now in the air, causing all kinds of technical difficulties. Actually, I think it is. So you need to talk to your friend Uranus and tell Uranus to, calm down on the technical difficulty stuff. But anyway, the sun starts out in your third house, the beginning of the month, okay, from the beginning of the month up until the 20th. So your third house is the house of your day-to-day activities that you do, running errands, the places that you go here and there, to the gas station, to the bank, to the grocery store, to the library, the post office, all those day-to-day places. It's also the house of the mind, right? So your mind is going to be really stimulated extra during this time. I mean, you're going to be coming up with some great genius ideas, but I will warn you that you are going to be having such an active mind that it may be harder to sleep and to rest, okay? Especially because around the 9th of the month, the sun comes in conjunction directly with the planet Uranus, your ruler. So you're going to be having like your Aquarius superpowers come out, right? Just being super rebellious, super innovative and creative and genius and coming up with all these crazy ideas. However, I must warn you that your ruling planet Uranus, it can cause some sort of nervousness and anxiety in a way, especially because your mind will be moving so fast and your body wants to try to catch up. So you may be reaching for the caffeine a little bit more, to keep your body as stimulated as your mind. And like I said, it may cause trouble being able to rest, but on the positive side, great ideas can come out of you at this time. You may be moving around here and there, going here and there and everywhere, running all these errands and everything, but make sure you still take the time to rest and relax so that anxiety doesn't occur and take over and ruin all your geniusness. On the 20th of the month, the sun goes into Taurus, which is your fourth house of home and family. Now, the fourth house is similar to the energy of the sign of Cancer. That's because Cancer is the fourth sign on the zodiac wheel. So when the sun goes there, it's the bottom of the chart, right? So the sun is like busy, 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 and then it goes down to the bottom. It's like, I think I will take a little rest now, and you may be feeling more reclusive and like Cancerian in nature. I had to move because that light was not working for me, honey, okay? But anyway, Aquarius, you're going to be more emotional, okay? If there is such a thing for you, your emotions are going to be drawn out of you a little more. Even if you're not very emotional, you may be more Cancerian in a type of way where you just want to stay home and you don't want to be as social as when the sun was in your third house. The third house is being very social, chit-chatting with people and communicating with people, having conversations here, there, and everywhere. But when the sun is in the fourth house, it's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Since it's the energy that's like Cancer, Cancers don't like to answer the phone. They don't like to talk on the phone. They are bad at returning your emails and your text messages. Generally speaking, my experiences with many Cancers, okay, many of them, they all do the same thing. So you may be a little more reclusive, Aquarius, and not really feel like picking up the phone and talking to everybody and entertaining people. You just want to be at home and relax, maybe kick it in your pajamas, watch some good movies, watch Netflix, enjoy some good food. Definitely, because the fourth house, it rules food for comfort. the food of your home country, the food of your relatives, your ancestors, your mom and dad, what they used to cook for you, your grandma, whatever. You're going to be craving that stuff a little bit more, and more rich foods, okay? So if you're a person that's trying to watch your diet, the sun in the fourth house is one of those transits that does bring out more energy of being, having a bigger appetite, especially for very rich foods. So just watch out for that if you have to. But there is definitely going to be more of a focus on home and on family. If you don't have a family, then like I said, being more at home, you know, or maybe moving to a new home or selling a home or buying a home. The fourth house does indicate usually a time when people do make decisions about whether or not to stay in a home, or they end up moving or whatever. So for the first few days of the month, Venus continues to be in the sign of Pisces, which is your second house. So you may have been enjoying pleasures of the five senses in a very Piscean way, and maybe going shopping more, and maybe wanting and craving more material things, or maybe you could have gained more material wealth during this transit. Once we get to the 5th, Venus moves into your third house. So Venus will be there from the 5th through the 29th, okay? And during this time, you are still carrying on that third house energy of maybe communicating a little bit more with people. Even though you'll have the sun being your fourth, you know, the Venus in the third is still going to help you to still not be such a recluse, and maybe still communicate with friends and run errands, and your day-to-day activities may be a place where you can find love if you are open to it and looking for it, because Venus does rule partnerships and relationships. So since Venus rules like money and material items that you purchase, this may be a time where you purchase something that's very third house, like a communication device, a technological device like a phone or a tablet, or maybe like one of those new iWatches or something like that. Or maybe a car is, you know, Venus in the third might be that, because the third house is how you travel short distances. So it may be a good time to buy a car. As I mentioned, on the 30th, Venus goes into Taurus, and this is your fourth house. So enjoying more good foods, enjoying time with family, enjoying time at home, maybe having some barbecues with family. Aquarians are usually those type of people that they have friends that they consider more like family than their blood. So the family part of the fourth house can also mean those people as well. It doesn't have to mean your blood relatives if you're distant from them. It's anybody that you consider like family that's close to your heart. So you will be more focused on those people during this transit. We will go more into it in the month of May, because Venus will continue in the fourth house throughout that month. Mars continues to be in the sign of Sagittarius, which is your 11th house. And Mars will go retrograde on the 17th of April. Also, Saturn is hanging out in your 11th house as well, in the same house, and went retrograde on March 25th. So both of these planets retrograde in your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of Aquarius. It's a house of groups, like-minded friends, you know, doing things outside the box, being unique and innovative. So with Saturn there, Saturn can cause restrictions and blocks. However, the more positive way to look at Saturn is he teaches you lessons. He helps you work on things, because Saturn is a planet of hard work and dedication. So as long as you don't rebel against Saturn, which I know you guys could be rebels, right? As long as you don't rebel against the lessons that Saturn is trying to teach you at this time, and you just go along with them. And Saturn can be kind of like a drill sergeant energy too, putting you to work, like really hard work, whipping you into shape. So if you go along and follow your sergeant's directions, you know what? You may still be able to enjoy achieving things through hard work without complaining. So that's what Saturn asks of you. Hard work with little complaints. Being in the 11th house and going backwards, you're going to have to go back over those things, back over friendships maybe. Who are your true friends? Have you been working on the friendships? You may have been getting rid of some people that you considered to be friends that you found out are not really friends at all, or they're just kind of acquaintances that use you for their own good, you know, and associate with you like on a more superficial level. And Aquarians, you guys have many, many groups of friends, generally speaking for Aquarius. Many groups of friends. You guys can blend in anywhere. But with Saturn in the 11th house, it's like kind of taking a more harsh look at reality when it comes to your groups that you belong to, and it comes to your friendships. So you may have been eliminating some people. And when Saturn goes retrograde, you're going to be thinking back and reviewing, even more the people that you have in your life that you consider friends, or maybe groups that you belong to. A lot of Aquarians are humanitarian, do a lot of humanitarian efforts and belong to a lot of groups. Maybe you find out that some humanitarian group that you belong to and you're associated with is not the real deal. It's not true to you, or maybe they're involved in some activities that you discover that you're like, nah, that's not me. I don't want to associate myself with that. So you got to cut that off. So you really have to take a hard look at your groups of friends and the groups and organizations you belong to. And Mars in the 11th house as well is like a very aggressive energy. It can be, it's a very assertive energy to assert yourself where it's necessary. Try not to get into disagreements with people like on the internet, because the 11th house does rule like groups of people, that you're associated with on the internet as well. So try to keep the internet bullying or trolling under control if you are involved in such things, Aquarius. But if not, then, you can just be a little bit more aggressive within your groups of friends. And when Mars goes retrograde, it's said that, if you try to fight with people while Mars is retrograde, or if you try to charge at them in an aggressive manner or challenge them in any way, you will more than likely lose because of the retrograde motion. It's like you're running and your legs are underwater, or you're like running against like the wind or a tornado, and you're just trying to fight through it. It's not its normal progression, it's not its normal energy where you can just run fast, through things. That's the normal energy of Mars. But backwards, it's like, I feel like I'm running in slow motion and fighting in slow motion. So that's why you do not have that much of an advantage at this time if you need to, conquer some type of battle with groups of people. So I would advise you not to begin anything as far as battling and challenging people in groups. If people come against you, just try to be as cool and calm as possible, and maybe you'll come out victorious in the end against them. But all in all, Aquarius, I really hope that you're not fighting, amongst groups. I mean, you like to get along with everybody, generally speaking. Belong to different groups and just be able to go wherever you want and talk to people and have a cool, calm relationship with everybody and anybody. So hopefully you haven't been going through things like that. But if you have been, just still try to be your cool self, and you can come out still victorious in the end with whatever you're trying to achieve or accomplish. So we start out the month with Mercury still in Aries, where he has been since March, and this is in your 3rd house. Mercury in the 3rd house. Ooh, Aquarius. The 3rd house is the mind. Mercury rules the mind. So there's like such active mind energy going on here, for the first few days. That continues. And also, we start out the month with Mercury in conjunction with Uranus, which is your ruling planet. So, wow, my Aquarians are probably like on fire, as far as your minds, being so active and everything. It's probably hard to sleep, probably reaching for more caffeine, coffee, whatever that you need to stay awake and stay alert physically, because your mind is just going, So this is for the first few days, and but like I said, it's a great energy for coming up with innovative ideas, creative ideas. You may have some technological issues. I have seen that with the Mercury-Uranus conjunction transit for a lot of people, and especially if you're ruled by Uranus, and this is your 3rd house, oh my gosh. And also Mercury will go into the sign of Taurus on the 5th. This is your 4th house, home and family, more home and family energy. So your mind is on your home and family, maybe fixing things around the home, because Mercury rules your hands, so maybe there's some things that need to be addressed around the house, or you just feel like maybe picking up things and organizing things a little more around the house. You may be talking to family members more, or they might start contacting you more, saying, Aquarius, where have you been? You've been so distant from your family. Like, hello, we're your blood, what's going on with you? Talk to us. So that may happen, or you may have the urge yourself to call them, especially because Mercury is going to go retrograde in your 4th house. The shadow period, where it starts to slow down and then it stops, starts on the 14th of April. The retrograde motion fully begins on the 28th of April. So you really may have relatives that come back into your life, or at least attempt to contact you. Since Mercury rules technological devices and things like that around the home, with Mercury going retrograde, I would say before the shadow period even begins, okay, before the 14th, make sure that all of your technology around your house is in working order. I had Mercury retrograde in my 4th house before, and my garage stopped working. Like, the garage stopped opening. Our water heater went out, like, at the same time. We had a plumbing issue. So Mercury retrograde in the 4th, those things can come up, just being honest and letting you know. So make sure everything is in order before the 14th. If something comes up that still needs to be fixed, even though you thought you were prepared, it's just showing you what you've missed and what you still need to address. Just fix it. And then when Mercury goes forward again at the end of May, maybe your house will be back in order and not chaotic. And I'm not saying this is guaranteed to happen to every single Aquarius, but this is just something that is more of a possibility. You do have the rest of your chart that can maybe alter, you know, the effects of Mercury retrograde, but this is just generally speaking, this can happen. So prepare yourself, Aquarius. Make sure everything is working. If your family members call, you know, don't be surprised, and they may want to talk to you. This can also mean, you know, the friends that you consider family as well. So another planet that's going retrograde in the month of April is on the 18th. Pluto goes retrograde, and this is in Capricorn. He will station at 17 degrees Capricorn and start moving backwards, and this is in your 12th house. Pluto in the 12th house is super duper powerful because the 12th house is a very psychic house, okay? It's a very intuitive, powerfully intuitive house. It's like this deep subconscious mind, things that are hidden back there. Pluto in the 12th, now, me personally, I was born with Pluto in the 12th house in my natal chart. So some experiences that you may have can have been loved ones visiting you in your dreams that have passed on. Especially with Pluto going retrograde, is bringing things back. So I would say pay close attention to your dreams during this transit, because they may have very powerful messages for you, especially from beyond, you know, from people who have passed on, or if you are in touch with like the angelic realm or anything like that. It can also just plain and simple bring out more intuition, and it can, on the negative side, just being honest, bring out some maybe deep psychological issues that you've had in the past. Holy whew. Oh my God, did you guys see me almost get attacked by birds? Ooh, sorry, we were getting deep too. Anyway, back to the deep stuff. It rules deep psychological issues of the past, and if you have not resolved them, then they may come back to you. Since Pluto rules death and rebirth and regeneration, if anything comes up that's kind of like a painful memory of the past or a wound that hasn't healed, all it means is you have the opportunity now to really heal it once and for all, and finally get rid of it out of your life for good, so that you can move on from it and not feel any pain anymore, or not have this subconscious, you know, pain that you're hiding back there, you know, because that's the energy of the 12th house. This is a great time, this Pluto in the 12th transit, to confide in like a therapist or a counselor, or just maybe people that you really trust on a deep level, to confide in and help you through these things. This is also a great time to turn to things like meditation or the spiritual, if you're open to that. Or if you're open to things like healing through crystals and gemstones, or anything that helps you on a spiritual level to let go. Because the 12th house is one of those houses of letting go. It's the last house on the zodiac wheel, which represents the end of life. And that doesn't mean you're going to die, Aquarius, okay? It just means when you start the first house energy, okay, that's when you start a new, that's when you're born. So the 12th house is like being old and reflecting back on life on a deep level. Like those people who are in their last days and they look back at their life and say, what could I have done differently? Or, you know, did I enjoy my life to the fullest? Did I really complete my mission here? Pluto in the 12th can have you really thinking deeply about those things when it goes retrograde. So let's get into these moons really quick, Aquarius. The new moon, which brings new beginnings, happens on the 7th of April. This is at 17 degrees Aries, and this is in your 3rd house, and it's in conjunction with Uranus, which is your ruling planet. So anything new, fresh, innovative can happen when it comes to 3rd house matters. That can mean just new ideas in general that you apply to work or to any creative projects that you have. It can mean maybe suddenly you need to get a new car. Okay, maybe suddenly you need to get rid of an old one and get a new one. Just a new beginning in general for you in life with yourself, anywhere in life, because it's in conjunction with your ruling planet that rules you, your body, your life path. So, new beginning, fresh and new and exciting stuff. The full moon happens at 2 degrees Scorpio on April 22nd, and this is in your 10th house of career. So a final decision when it comes to your career can happen. Maybe you decide to change your career because there's like this Uranus energy that's been happening. Uranus, your ruling planet, has been triggered all month, you know, due to planets coming in contact with it. That may have caused you to get a little electric shock in you that's like, I need a change, I need a drastic change, and I need it now, you know. So maybe you have decided, I want to change my career and my life path, and then the full moon brings it to a final decision. It can be that you finally get the career that you want. Maybe you've applied for positions, or you finally get something started that triggers you to finally be able to have that dream career or that status that you want in life. Since the fourth house energy is activated on the opposite side, maybe there has been a struggle, a conflict between home and family and career. Maybe you really want to go off and be more of a career person, but down here in the fourth house, you have your family that's like, what are you doing? I don't approve of that, or I would like you to be home more or something. But a final decision is made once the full moon comes around that says, you know what, I decided, yeah, okay, I'll stay home instead of working, or yeah, I decided to be more of a career person. So peace, see ya. I'm a rebel. I do what I want. I'm an Aquarius, you know. So I'm just kidding. But anyway, the full moon is definitely going to highlight your career and social status. So be mindful of that. This is around the 22nd of April. All right, Aquarius. So to wrap up your month, your main focuses are going to be on your third house, the third house of short distance travel, communication. Brand new things can happen, exciting things, surprising things. Maybe you need to get rid of a car, or you buy a new car all of a sudden. Be careful driving though, or you find a new way to communicate, or just anything new happens in your life because of Uranus being there. The fourth house is highlighted and activated too, which is home and family, and also the people close to your heart that you consider family. And also your 10th house is activated because of the full moon, so a final decision with career. And your 11th house, you have Mars and Saturn, two very hard-working planets there that are making you work and put a little bit more effort into your groups and friendships. It's a little bit of a rough energy, but this is the house of Aquarius, so it's a natural energy to you, and you can get through it, all right? Well, thank you so much, and don't forget that if you would like a personal reading, including a monthly horoscope that's true to only your chart, shoot me an email, get in contact with me on livevisions.com, and I would love to help make that happen for you. All right? Well, I hope this was insightful for you, and I will see you guys in the month of May. Take care of yourselves. Mwah! Love ya. Peace.